Hey, what's going on YouTube? Finally got a GoPro. I'm pretty excited about that because I've been wanting to do some reviews outside and now I can finally do it. So I'm sitting out here in my backyard. As always, my name's Jose. I'm going to be doing a review on some neck knives. One is just, it's kind of a generic knife. I just thought it looked really cool. And this is the Hibben Claw. I picked it up for like 20 bucks, not a big deal. And then the main part of this review will be on the Cold Steel Mini Tac Tanto blade. So we'll go ahead and start just with the Hibben Claw, just because it's the least, I don't know, the least well known, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term. So this is the Hibben Claw right here. It comes with the sheath. It's a pretty nice sheath. It's a leather sheath. Has a nice belt clip right there, and that's pretty cool. One thing you should know right off the bat about this knife is that it's a felony to carry. So if you're caught carrying this knife, you're gonna get into trouble. A good rule of thumb: if you can't explain why you have the knife to the police, you probably shouldn't have it. But anyways, moving on. This is just a cool knife I picked up just because I really like the style. I liked how many options you had. You could hold it this way for some good slashing. It's cool because it's a double edge, which is part of what makes it a felony, because now it's kind of like a dagger, because the false edge and the true edge are both sharp. But in this, there's not actually a false edge. So anyways, moving on. Up here, if you can see this, it's jimped a little bit, so if you're holding it like this and you're doing some practical kind of stuff, you can you have something to grip. Also, it's jimped back up here, so if you're holding it in reverse grip, you also have something to do. These holes are pretty useful. The two bottom ones I think were just made to save weight and to keep the aesthetic look of the knife, but the middle one is just for fun. I like to do some little twirling and whatnot. It just makes me feel cool. I don't really think there's practical purpose to that, because once you grip, you're kind of gripping the knife now, which runs a big risk of cutting your hand, of course. And then you have this exposed, which you could use to kind of knock against things, but because you have the knife in your hand, or the blade, I wouldn't recommend that. But anyways, you do have this big hole here at the top, and that's cool because you can put this through, and once you do this, your grip it's sure. You could even punch if you wanted, do some slashing, and it definitely would do well in that kind of thing. It'd be a cool little knife to use in some combat situations. Nothing too big, of course, because this would be almost a last-ditch knife. If you would, like let's say somebody's getting really in your face, you pull this out and you do a couple slashes, maybe a punch with it, and it's lights out. It's gonna be pretty bad. But that's the Hibben Claw. It's not like a big it's not a major knife. It's not something I would recommend you buy if you're looking for a utility knife, but if it's just a nice little knife to use. It's got a lot of different applications you can use, and you know, it's just something cool to look into. It's just an interesting addition to a collection, which is why I put it in this video. So now we'll go to the Mini Tac. This is made by Cold Steel. This is the Mini Tac right here. So this is actually one of my favorite little knives that I have. I like fixed blades better than I like folders. The problem I have with fixed blades, though, is that a lot of them are really big and cumbersome, and you can't do too much with them in a practical carry type situation, you know, like if you're out in public, because they're pretty noticeable and they're a little harder to conceal. It's still possible, but a little harder. So I started looking into neck knives, which I'd never really looked into before. I went to Cold Steel because I'm a big Cold Steel fan. That and SOG. If you see my videos, a lot of them consist of that, of those two knives. But I saw the Mini Tac, and I really liked the way it looked, so I decided I would try it out, and I bought it. Not an expensive knife. I think this cost me $30 probably. So when I received it, I opened it, immediately I fell in love with it. The blade is pretty nice, pretty thick. If you look there, it's not got a nice burly size thickness to it, which is cool because I like thicker knives. I don't like thinner knives because I like to have some substance behind it, and that this is a small knife. It definitely requires a little bit more behind it to keep it to my standards of weight. I like a heavier knife, whereas most people like lighter knives. But I'm out in like my backyard, you know, it's not very big, but I go out hunting a lot, and I do a lot of outdoor things, and I prefer a heavier knife that is stout and strong. This definitely fits the bill. It's small, but it packs a big punch. The blade, really well made. Tanto, obviously. It came shaving sharp. I pulled it out the box and I was able to shave right off the bat. Really nice. It keeps its edge very well, and still, even now after some use, it's really sharp. That counter edge right there is just devastating if you use it as a slash. And when you're cleaning animals, I've cleaned a couple dove with it and rabbits and whatnot, and it did its job really well. That counterpoint was actually really helpful because you don't have to hold it at an awkward angle. You could just do this just like you normally would, a nice slice, and things get done real quick. The sheath that it came with, it has no belt loops on it. I did just some little contraption here where I put braided steel wire through it and then a little carabiner, so now I can just hook it on my backpack or hook it on my belt and take off and go, right? So I like it. It's not, I don't know if I'll keep it on there, but it's cool for now, so I have no complaints with it, with that. But the sheath itself is honestly not the best sheath. It's a Secure-X sheath. I've definitely seen better sheaths before. I've owned better sheaths, but it's not too bad. When you first get it, you have your knife in there, and I'm not gonna lie, it locks it in. No amount of shaking is gonna get your knife to fall out, I guarantee that. And when you pull it out, it requires a nice little bit of pull. The problem I have with it is maybe you can, I don't know if this will pick it up, but right on the blade right here, next to the Mini Tac words, there's some wear, and that's only from the sheath. That's not from my usage, and that's just from normal going in and out of the sheath. It was really bad when I first got it, but I actually put some oil in here, some gun oil, and that worked wonders. The knife goes in and out way smoother now, so that's something to think about. The sheath is not the best, is not the most well-made sheath. If you can see here, the sheath is split a little bit, and that's how I got it. It's not because I've been using it, but that's how it came. It's a little stressful that way because, I mean, you want a sheath that's going to stay perfectly well together. I've seen people do mods where they'll drill a hole and then put another, like, rivet or something there that hold it tight. I don't want to do that. It's not in danger of the sheath breaking. The other rivets are really strong and are holding together perfectly well. It's just that I would prefer the sheath to be a little bit more well made, whereas it looks completely uniform and no splits. But that's the only complaints I have about the sheath. This came with the my bad, the little ball chains that that come on dog tags. I forget the actual name for those. Oh, I have it in my pocket. It comes with this right here, and that's for neck knife purposes. You can put it through any one of the holes. You could hang it around your neck. You could do a contraption where you have like an H harness type thing on there. You could put it on your side, your back, whatever it is you find comfortable with this style knife. It's definitely well in that practice. Something I love about this knife is this choil right here in the sub hilt. That is perfect. Once you grab this like this, it's literally just unbreakable. Unless somebody broke my hand, you're not getting this out of my hand. If you try to pull that, you're gonna hurt yourself really bad. It's got a good feel to it. You could jab with no worries of going onto the blade. There's even this bigger style jimping up here, which is really nice for if you're gonna be doing some type of whittling. If you're gonna be skinning an animal, something like that, you got something nice up here to grip onto and not slip off. It's actually really cold out here, so I'm gonna wrap this up soon. But the handle is G10, and it's pretty good stuff. I like it. This is really nice and grippy, and it's not overly grippy like the Recon one is. The Recon one's just retarded grippy, but I do like it. But this is really nice. It goes with the, it's not over cumbersome. You know, the knife is a full tang blade all the way through the handle, and the G10 almost kind of just covers that, so you have a little bit more substantial hold on there and a little bit of grip. It's held together by 2 screws, as you can see here. So it's put together really nicely. Have no complaints about that. And then the 2 holes here, I think once again are for weight conservation, which isn't a big deal with this knife anyway, since it's so small. and I put some, you know, some paracord right here, as you know, you can just put your hand through and do some work, and then grab your knife and continue with no problem. So all in all, the Mini Tac is a great little knife. I like this. It comes in 2 other blade shapes. It comes in the beaver tail shape and scimitar type shape. I forget the name of it. But those are the 2 shapes it comes in. You can also get them serrated. Cold steel serrations are pretty cool. I haven't. My friend has a couple knives that have the serrations that way. I'm not a big fan of them that way, but I'm not a big fan of the cold steel serrations. I like more of the K-bar serrations, more combat style. But there are great serrations anyways. If you're looking for a combo blade, I would go with something bigger, because if you comboed this, you wouldn't have enough to play with either style. I think you should choose just one or the other. But yeah, that's the Cold Steel Mini Tac. I hope this review was helpful to you guys, and you know, next time I'll be a little bit more prepared and actually do some more slicing with the knives and do what they're actually made for. But for now, that's it, and I'll see you guys later.